Hey guys, it's Melissa. Happy Friday. Wanted to pop in today for a couple things. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to weed vinyl and HTV, especially when it has super small areas like you can see here. This is the same font. It's Ochre, which is part of the fanciest font bundle, which I'll show you in just a second. It's really popular font, but it has these teeny little dots and accents that you can see that can be challenging to weed. So I'm going to give you some tips on weeding both of them. So first things first though, as I said, here's Ochre right here. It is part of Fanciest Font Bundle. There's 24 fonts in this bundle and it is expiring on Tuesday. So if you want to get it at, I don't know, what's like 90% off, 88% off. If you want to get it, grab it before it expires. Okay, so now that you know what you're going after, let me give you some tips. So I'm going to put you down here so you can kind of see. So first thing that I do is I always weed on my mat, okay? So I cut it twice so you could see. And one thing that you want to do is put a weeding box around your design, okay? So that is just, you can just use a square in your software, whatever software you're using. I use Silhouette Studio. You want to put a square around your design. So obviously this is my design over here. I use the draw box tool, and that just puts a weeding box around my design so I can easily weed out the excess, okay? I'm not wasting a whole bunch of the full sheet of vinyl to weed. Okay, so some of this stuff, like these counters, the counters are that middle part of the letters like A, P, D, O. Those are super easy to weed because they're large. You can see that some of these little dots, hopefully you can see that, sort of self-weeded while I was cutting. And you want to start with a good blade. So with adhesive vinyl specifically, if you're cutting stuff super small like this, I would suggest that you use a CB09, okay? So that'll help you get those teeny little dots. It's sort of, as I said, it sort of self-weeds some of this stuff. And then if you've got extra stuff in there that hasn't self-weeded, or you're trying to get out these little accents here, you can do a couple of things. You can use a super sharp pair of tweezers, okay, rather than a hook, and that'll just help you grab it. But of course the CB09 or a good cut is really important. The other thing you can do is take a piece, whoops, I messed that up there. The other thing that you can do is take a piece of washi tape and sort of, you just want a small piece, and sort of blot it over where your little small areas are, okay? And it'll lift up, you want it to lift up the part that's to be weeded, but not the other part. Like that. This is okay. I will be able to fix that. All right. So it pulls out that part, okay? But again, you just want to be really gentle with that because you don't want to pull up the full design, okay? It'll just help you lift that up. Okay, so that's adhesive vinyl, and then like I said, you can just use your hook for the remainder of this stuff. The other thing that you can do with adhesive vinyl is reverse weed. And reverse weeding, and I specifically left some areas in there that need to be weeded. Reverse weeding is when you don't weed right away. What you do is you use your transfer tape. This is Oracal transfer, and this is Oracal vinyl. This is 751. But reverse weeding, what you can do is take the piece of transfer tape, all right, and place it over your design before it's weeded, okay, or before it's fully weeded. All right, so what you do, place that on there, okay, pull it off. Now, you can see this kind of stayed behind, which is fine. But when you reverse weed, you put it on your transfer tape first, and then you weed out those little areas. Because what it's doing is, the transfer tape itself is holding the main part of the design in place, and it makes it really easy to just pull out super small areas, especially if you have a nice sharp pair of tweezers or a good hook that you like. And I have several different weeding tools. I don't know, most of you probably know that the Silhouette weeding tools were better several years ago, which is why I have this old one. It's actually, it's jagged, it's bent, but it's the sharpest one. They don't make them like that anymore. Okay, and then after you've reverse weeded, then you can, you know, take your design, there, it's fully weeded there, take your design and place it wherever you're gonna put it, okay? All right, I'm actually gonna put it right back on the transfer tape, on the transfer backing for now. Okay, now, HTV is a little bit of a different story because you can't reverse weed, you can't use washi tape, but what you can do is you can use the weeding box, okay? So that's super helpful. The other thing that's really helpful is if you cut off a small piece of, after you've weeded away the weeding box, if you cut off a small piece of the transfer sheet, okay, it's sticky, and then you use it just like I showed you using the washi tape, you kind of, again, blot it around, and you'll see, I did that over here on this piece, and you can see, can you see, that some of those teeny little dots, you got to see it there? They came out on this piece, okay? The other thing that you can do is place your HTV, let me move you over here, right on a heated heat press, okay? Don't press it, but you're going to just weed on the warm press, and it really helps to have that HTV pull off. It just warms it up, makes it a little bit softer while you're weeding, and it really helps pull it off pretty easily, okay? See how this is just really easily coming off of there? Okay, and then obviously you still need to weed out these other areas, but HTV is much, much more forgiving when it comes to weeding because there's no risk of the vinyl itself actually sticking to the rest of the vinyl, okay? And then you end up with your design. I didn't obviously fully weed this yet, but that's my biggest tip for weeding HTV is to weed it right on a warm heat press, all right, to help you out, okay? All right, so again, both of these designs, where's the other one? Both of these designs are used with the ochre font, which is part of Fonciest font, which is expiring on Tuesday. So if you're interested in ochre, if you're interested in, there's a sketch font in there, there's an arrow font in there, go over and grab it. You can refer back to this video. We'll throw it on YouTube. It'll be on our So Foncy Facebook page for tips on weeding those hard to weed, you know, little teeny designs, whether it's fonts or designs themselves. Anything that has an intricate area, that's what you want to do. All right? All right, guys, have a great weekend. I'll throw some links up for you where to get this transfer tape, where to get 751, where to get the designs, where to get the bundle, blah, 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 blah. You know the drill. All right, guys, see ya.